OG_Biggie_T just redeemed taxes.
Terrafae RPG just redeemed taxes.
We're going to let the big lads drink.
Hello, everybody. Would you look at that? It's Wednesday, my dudes. Hashtag party day. It's a day. Well, I mean, I say it's party day. You might never get there. We'll do another 4-hour session building up to the party.
No, we can guarantee we will be at the party.
Yeah, let's fucking go to this party. So we got.
I bought spicy juice.
Yeah. Okay. I have a bottle of water. Yeah, so brief rundown. What happened last week?
Basically, Azura had a nap. Things came back in.
Azura had a nap. Everyone else went out. That was all that.
Yeah. had a proper conversation with everyone about what happened, and then we went back to the guild, where I found out that there's going to be a party, so went to go and get some clothes and that.
Suits for the boys to look dapper.
Yes.
Suits.
Oh, yes. But also plans were made at the party for certain peoples to try and make a heist into the vault, whilst distractions are being provided by our lovely Dragonborn ladies. Azura has no idea of any of this, because they're deciding to keep him out of the loop. Which is fair, because he's been going through a bit. And he needs a night off. There was... I don't really know much what happened after that, because I had to leave. But I think there was a visit to the churches, where I'm not sure what happened there, though.
Nothing happened, mate.
You don't get
to
do that. You don't get to do that.
Nothing happened, mate.
Nothing happened. Okay, nothing happened at the churches, so but I think we're all basically getting prepared to head off prepare for the party. Yeah, and that's where it ended.
Yeah. Based on your lack of knowledge in character and out of character of what happened at the churches, we'll leave that for an in-character thing. All I will say is, after a trip to the Church of Orthus to investigate partially why the church was closed, but also to look into what might be happening with Azura and how it may affect things for Pappy Orthus. Certain things were seen, abnormalities, strangeties, but all of those abnormalities and strangeties, I suppose, were chain-esque in motif. So, whatever that could mean, who knows? I know what it means. But alas, as the pinky comes out, tee Shrek gif, we rejoin our troop. After Zafira kept Azura back a little, just for a nice stroll in the fresh air, and the boys meandered ahead to have a little... Let's plan what we can, but we're probably just going to have to see what happens on the day, because, you can't plan a heist when you've not got the blueprints. It's one of them, well, we'll just see what happens when we get there. But, over to you guys, like, if there's anything else you want to discuss, want to plan. I mean, of course, there's a little bit of who's-he what's it with Biggie having to leave last week. But technically, Azura did go to the church, so it's one of them, like, we'll just play it that he didn't go in and didn't see anything, because that's easier. Yeah, other than prepare for the party, over to you guys. As you arrive back at the guild house. You don't see any honor guard stood outside. The door is closed to the guild house. But as you all return, you've just collected the dresses, haven't you, Zafira? I think you collected the dresses and the jewelry.
I picked up everything. Yeah.
And then you went to the churches and now you've just come back. So as you enter, you see that Vitani is inside, wearing her... She's changed out of her I'm going to make some mystery meat breakfast bacon bits. And you can see that she's sat near the hearth on a chair, and behind her is Orla, who is attempting, bless her, to plait her hair.
Oh.
It's work. It's you know, she's plaiting the hair, but there's a kid plaiting your hair, and then there's party salon quality. You know what I mean? Bless her. She's giving. There's a plait. It's in a plait. You see Vitani kind of, not to overturn and ruin things, kind of looks over her shoulder a little bit. Did you get everything?
Yeah, we did. Braiding your hair, huh? It's been a while since I've seen you do that.
She kind of has a long blink and a smile as she exhales. I wasn't sure what to do while I was waiting, and Orla said it would look nice.
It does look nice.
See, Orla kind of looks at you and smiles, oblivious to the fact that it's not perfect, but it's nice.
It's nice. It's nice.
It's
okay.
plaited. It's plaited.
There's
There's a couple of loose hairs, but you know.
Is that me? Oh no, it's nice. Oh, it's so nice.
Make a deception check. I'm joking.
No. I'll go over. I'll have a look. Sort of like, You know, I haven't figured out what to do with my hair. I thought about just leaving it as it is.
Would you like me to plait it?
Hair. Oh, I don't know. I usually wear my hair up, so having it down is a special little occasion, I think.
I agree.
Usually gets in the way. You know how it is.
Yeah, you just focus on mine, Orla, and then Saphira can do whatever she wishes with hers.
Do you want me to help you into your dress later?
Yes, please. I'm so used to the leathers that
Yeah.
I hope it fits okay.
It'll look great.
And what about the gentlemen?
We'll look presentable.
We've each got something that will look rather nice, I believe.
Good. Well, as long as everyone has a good time, that's what I care about the most. And perhaps if you see me, I don't know, flailing my arms a little, come and rescue me from the tirade of networking I'm to do.
Oh no, people. Yeah, I know. It was really rough at first.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Besides, I'm gonna just kind of wrap an arm around her carefully so I don't disturb Ola. Your big sister's here, so nothing to worry about.
She kind of leans in a bit gently so as not to pull at her hair. Yes. I'm glad.
I
Truly.
just give a bit of a sort of a joking smirk and just be like, if anyone talks to you the wrong way or even looks at you funny, I'll eat them. Deal?
She kind of like quickly flicks her eyes around and then, hearing your jokey tone, I hadn't thought of that. Yes, maybe I'll join you.
No need for eating anyone.
Right then. Do we need
Maybe,
to make...
hopefully.
Is there any final preparations that we need to make? You said you've collected everything at Saphira. Oh, what about the horn, the jewellery?
Yeah, I got that too.
Oh, fantastic. Okay.
I mean, the only thing I could probably get my... I don't need for tonight, but I still need to get my armor from Magda. But
I can send...
it can wait.
I can send some of the others to collect it. So at least you've got it here.
Too. Yeah, if they could just put it in your office.
Yeah, that's no problem. Give them something to do.
And keep an eye on it, please.
Yes, of course. There'll be at least one of my guards staying here, so I'm sure it'll be fine.
All right.
She kind of turns her head. How much longer, Ola? Ola kind of looks down and she's holding the end of it. I haven't got anything to tie it with.
Oh, I would assume that Zafira, usually wearing her hair up, has some sort of hair ties.
Yeah.
Probably just a short piece of cloth to wrap.
Yeah,
right?
a bit of ribbon or whatever. Yep.
Yeah, I'll give her some.
Oh, thank you very much. She starts to tie it round, puts a bit of a bow in, double knots it. Probably wasn't necessary, so the knot's a bit tight, but... And she kind of steps back looking proud. And it's nice. It's nice. It looks nice.
Oh, it's so nice.
But, bless her.
She tried her best.
Yeah, she did. You could tell she absolutely did. Right. Thank you, Orla. She kind of, Vitani pats her on the shoulder. Okay. Did we determine a time for this party, or is it...
I think we're gonna start late afternoon towards the evening-ish, and then go into the night.
Remember, it's fashionable to be late.
Well, I was just...
Especially...
All the important people do it.
I was just going to ask, should I be there early to be ready, or...
No, let's make a bit of an entrance.
Got to make a grand entrance.
Exactly. All eyes on you. Guest of honour.
Well... Okay.
It'll be fine.
All right, come on, let's get you into your dress.
Yeah, come on. She kind of instinctually takes Saphira's hand to lead her upstairs to the office. There's some space in the back near the storage closets if you guys need some privacy, or you can maybe use the office.
I'm already undoing my robe and yes.
Great. I'll just go shade away and just start changing.
he's you just see the clothes appear as you drop them on the floor. He's don't worry about it. We're kind of used to changing around in front of each other.
We've done it for years. It's
years of working together and then weeks of traveling together.
Yes, very reasonable.
It leans in a bit. They got no shame.
And she chuckles, drags you upstairs.
What do you mean?
Laughs halfway up the stairs.
Azura, give me a wisdom save.
yes, because barbarians are known for those. No, 8.
Okay. Scaff, give me a perception put my teeth in. Perception check with disadvantage.
You big words.
An 8.
8, fantastic. Too focused on getting his clothes on whilst invisible. Cool. So, clothing adorned, beautify montage. Is there any other preparations you need to make before you all reconvene dressed?
I'm putting my Doria-sized scarf on the top layer of my clothes.
Very nice.
That's really about it.
Okay.
Just make sure Jin's got the bag of holding on his outfit.
It's underneath my jacket.
And I'm going to ask him, I'm going to de-string my bow and put my bow in it. Because I can't be taking a bow to a party. Just carrying it on my back.
Having my sword still on my side. What do you mean?
Yeah, I'll have like a couple of short swords and a dagger on me. But a bow is a little bit different.
Reasonable. A ceremonial weapon as part of a, a safety mechanism, I suppose.
Weapon.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean. Like, it's part of an outfit to... Everyone has an understanding that, self-defense is a thing. But, carrying great whopping swords and bows and stuff, it's the difference between being prepared and being well-armed for a party. But as the afternoon progresses...
I'm gonna try my best Thomas Shelby impression. Point at every one of them. No fighting. No fucking fighting.
Lucy Snowdrop just redeemed taxes.
I'm innocent. I am innocent. Put on earth.
We're here to impress for the Guildmaster.
Understood.
Speaking
Take me
of,
for.
as the chaps are all stood awaiting, footsteps could be heard descending the stairs as a pair of female dragonborn make their way down. One wearing a nice grey dress with I believe she had a necklace. No, she had
the horn adornments.
Right, it was the horn adornments wrapped around to match with little dangly sapphire bits at the tips. And Zafira in a nice form-fitting black dress. Strips of gold chain on the hips and around the front. Wondering about putting the picture up so we can see, perhaps. Have you got it to hand, Lucy, if I try to add?
Try to add. Wait. It's in right there. Right.
Bear with me 2 seconds while I...
Take your pick.
Oh, yeah. Let's go.
Which
yeah,
one?
let's not go with the looking up one. That one's a little more.
Fair enough.
What do you mean?
I mean,
it's not that bad.
To put on stream, perhaps. Better to be safe.
The spirit of the
than
game.
sorry.
DOS covers you. It's fine.
Oh, but pool streams are cool. Hot tub streams are good.
Oh, that is true. Actually, that is true. So there we go.
Dragonborn in a dress is not.
Stream as Zafira wearing her nice black dress with the chain adornments round the hips and the chest. Very nice indeed.
Dwarf. Well.
Well then.
Well then.
We said distraction, okay?
Hell
Jinx is
yeah.
halfway putting his jacket on, is just sort of stopped.
Maybe a cup of water is and it just falls straight from his hand. It's like
Scaffold bit same, maybe that. Well, damn.
wow.
Ta-da!
I'm underdressed.
Look at Jin. Definitely no fucking fighting.
I'll be fighting everybody. Scott.
You'll go in time out.
Oh dear.
So how do we
Special
look,
occasions
gentlemen?
Call for special outfits.
Exquisite.
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 Incredible.
That's the nicest thing Scaff's ever said to me.
Which not?
It's better
I'm
than
going to
a lot
take
of
the
things he's
evening
said.
to figure out the words to this, and then I'll give them to you in private.
I see. I shall await your answer then.
So, whilst it was partly in jest, I have thought about it while I was getting ready. And if at any point during the party you see me itch the top of my head with my tail, that is a sign to get me out of there, please. I'm sure everyone will be lovely, but I'm also certain it will be quite overwhelming, and I want to make a good impression by not being immensely frustrated. So, shall we?
Dance.
The best parties have some sort of bloodlust, so it'll be fine.
What kind of parties have you been to, Jin?
Probably ones done by his
point.
brother.
Now I'm
Just
terribly
one time.
curious how Val would throw a party. Sure, it's pretty wild.
See, Vitani kind of looks inquisitively. Perhaps that's a story for later on. I'd quite like to know a bit more about your brother?
He has two.
Brothers? Okay.
Both very different.
They're interesting in
Yeah.
their own right.
He's the baby. He's the youngest one.
I am.
Well, I shall look forward to hearing about them.
Funny how the younger ones always inherit the responsibility, huh? And I'll look at Zeph.
Vitani looks at Zeph as well and smiles.
Wow.
I think what I've heard is right. You may get to meet one of them sooner rather than later.
None of this would have happened if I hadn't left. All right.
That is true. That is true. How things change. And she kind of looks around the room. Guildmaster. She kind of shakes her head and smiles. So, do we need anything else? I've already instructed the boys to go and get Zephyra's armour to bring it safely back to the office. Shall we?
Let's go.
You see two of her honour guard flank, keeping some distance back, but following nonetheless. Opens the door, steps outside. As the afternoon air fills the city. Not a cloud
First
in the
FYI.
sky.
My lady. Does it go for my arm?
Oh, of course. Takes his.
So, let us go. The path north you can see that comparatively to the workers' camps, it's quite quiet. You see there's one or two that seem to be finishing smartening up. And as you are making your way north, they too start heading with haste. Let's say it's similar north direction. Passing the marketplace, there's, apart from the few vendors, it's very quiet. The further north you travel, you can already start to hear that there is a hustle and a bustle and a busyness of bodies heading towards the Tolderren compound. Couples, mostly. The odd family with a child or two, but not many. As you pass the church areas, you don't need to roll. I suppose you'd probably have an inquisitive look over into the churchyard. You see the Wontian church. All of the churches themselves seem to be closed. All of the doors are closed. There's a small gathering of people outside the Wontian church. A slightly larger gathering outside the Avia church. In fact, do give me perception checks to see if you pick up on anything.
Particularly interested in the Avia people.
16.
15.
Math. 26.
23.
Okay.
Don't know what I'm looking for. I just saw it.
Yeah. Well, as you look towards the churches, probably paying more attention to the fact that there's gatherings outside of the churches, you can see that there's a couple of people wearing stereotypically avian robes, beiges and whites. There is 2 figures wearing black robes. They seem to be engaged in conversation. Those of you that got higher than a 20 will also notice that the individuals wearing black robes, one of them, you notice, does the hand gesture that you would recognise as the Orthus symbol. The other figure is an elf with slicked back white hair and a pale grey in colour skin. You notice that the specific detail that sticks out, perhaps, is that as the other person in the black robe does the hand gesture, rather than match it or, do it themselves, they reach out and lower the other person's hands. Engaged in conversation.
They're saying anything.
Oh yeah, you are a very observant boy, aren't you?
I'm sorry.
You would notice that as the one that lifts his fingers up, you can still see his mouth, and you see him say, "May his eyes nay be distracted." And as he says that, the other individual, who comparatively, you can see his hair because he's got the hood down on this robe, lowers the hands, and you just see him say, "You speak Elvish, don't you?"
Yeah.
Yeah. You notice he says in Elvish, "Now's not the time." Or to words of that effect.
Sort of lean into Severa. I think they might have caught on what's going on inside. Orpheus's priests are irregular.
Well, I would be surprised if they didn't. So it's good. I think it's good that they noticed.
I'm hoping it's good.
Nothing we can do about it now.
Oh, good to keep in mind.
Yes.
To continue along your path, and the busyness of people becomes a bit more apparent as you can see that the compound is filling, and you can see comparatively where you'd go to a party at a destination, there seems to have been arranged a bit of a... what's the right word? They've turned the compound into a bit of a fete or a gathering, you know. There's a couple of small stalls of food vendors. You can, as you get closer, you can hear that there is some music being played. There's a small troop of 3 Dragonborn. One has a lute. One has a couple of metal discs attached to a wooden frame that rattle as he shakes it. And you can see there's one that seems to be using voice to make music. Rather than singing words, it's hums and notes. Just to keep attention, nothing too fast-paced, but to give a little bit of ambiance.
Warrior 25 just redeemed taxes.
You can see also that comparative to when you've been, certainly Zafira, and I suppose the chaps when you were there and waited outside, you can see that there's an increase in Dragoon Guard posted in and around the compound. You can see that they're what you would assume, as you've come to learn in Dragoon with the worksmen's camps, they're stereotypically non-Dragonborn races. You can tell that there's people wandering about, carrying trays of things. Seem to be a lot of workers' camp folk have been hired for the party. So it's certainly given a lot of people a lot to do. You see Vitani's kind of looking around, and you notice that her pace slowed the closer that you got. And she's looking around, and like you all clock passive insight. You see at one point she kind of looks at you all and then like smiles, the fakest smile you've ever seen in your life. And you can see that she's holding her hands like in front of her, just at her stomach, and she's kind of twiddling her thumb a bit. I wasn't
sort of let go of Zafira's like arm and move a little closer to Vitani. Continue my pitch as I'm sort of moving.
Where should we go, do you think?
Well, let's find the head of the house first.
Okay, yes.
It's always good to greet the host first.
Yes,
And
good
then
idea.
we'll see where we go from there. Offer her my arm instead. Come on.
She kind of sighs and takes it. Like wraps her hand around. Yeah. You're coming with me.
All right, okay. I'm here. Don't worry.
And you see as you both walk
What is it
through...
you want to express?
She
I was...
sighs and looks at Jin. I need to at least appear confident.
Deep breath.
Yeah. She stops and straightens up. I do agree with Zafira. Rather than speaking to anyone yet, let's go and get introduced to Jemias and see how he wants to plan things. And then, like, you notice she starts just nodding and smiling hello to people as you start making your way in. And a lot of people, again, don't need to roll. Like, the eyes are just, like, all turning towards you guys, all looking dapper. Particularly the two, obviously they look similar, you know. the ladies flanked by all the chaps. And you see a couple of whispers and oohs and ahs and... Is that... Oh, they must be important. Who's that? And, of course, a lot of people don't know who you are yet. Fortunately, the crowd's not too thick. There's enough spacing that you can pass through without having to be secret serviced through. You know, you make your way through. But with you all with her, you can tell that Vitani's demeanour eases a little. She stands tall. Got a firm grip on Zephyra, like, but she strides with purpose. You make your way towards the main building in the compound. Stood outside, there are two Dragoon guard wearing the stereotypical Dragoon uniform. There are also two other guard, including Jin, you're probably first to recognise, a familiar green dragonborn who is stood next to the Dragoon guard, flanked by another human guard. They are wearing like blue sashes or top leather armour to denote that they are working at this fate. And when you notice that detail, you look around and see more and more like stationed on corners, you know, and dotted around near the stalls in the compound. You can see that there are a number of Dragoon guard and other workers or other Dragonborn guards wearing leathers with blue sashes. And as you approach, he pipes up first, the green Dragonborn. Ah, those that we've been waiting for, no doubt.
In more ways than one, no doubt.
The lady or ladies and gentlemen of the hour. I know Master Tolderren is eagerly awaiting your arrival.
Excellent, then let's not keep him waiting, shall we?
Indeed. You kind of, the guards all look you up and down. Just checking for weapons before you enter. Small weapons are allowed, but please keep them sheathed. If there is any trouble, anybody gives you any trouble, call for the guard.
Sort of try and make the fact that I'm carrying my ceremonial-looking longsword, so I like make it a part of the outfit as much as possible.
They lock you up and down and they let you in. As you enter, there is a row of 5 blue Dragonborn all stood like sharp and tall, all holding a tray each. Intermittent.
I will let it be known that the hand of Shozan is currently propped up in the corner in the guild.
Okay. You've left the big old sword. Yeah, okay.
Didn't think I'd get in with that.
Yeah, reasonable. Yeah, you see there's 5 in a kind of curve in the foyer. And they've got small little canapes. The next one along has got a jug with some kind of pale brown liquid in it, with some small glasses. The next one along has got fruit. The next one along has got what looks like juice. So there's a various different... It's clearly canapes and spicy juice, but also not so spicy juice. As you all enter, they, like almost all in sync, kind of offer the trays forward with a smile and a nod for you to take anything that you'd like. Vitani just grabs one of, it's like a small pastry package with some kind of meat filling. She kind of nervously eats it and then waits and hopes that you all join her so she's not the only one.
But you said there
I'll
was
pick
fruit,
something.
right?
Yeah. So the
I'll
first
take a
one's
piece
these
of fruit.
little like pastry parcels, like canapes, then it's the spicy juice, then a fruit tray, then the
Oh, you know what? I'll also
water
take
and
some
juice.
spicy juice.
I will also take a spicy juice and look
Sorry,
at
just-
Azura. Spicy juice?
Just rested in my palm. We're at a party.
As a man of the cloth still, I'll take a water, thank you.
Sorry. Of course.
Surely you
Joke
can
of the
turn
hour.
that off. Come on.
Just sip.
Do men of the cloth not drink? Scaff?
No, this one doesn't. This one doesn't.
Well, he
I swore
does,
it off.
actually. Yeah.
I swore it off for the time being.
Well,
What a time being.
more for me.
Well,
then.
that
Take
wasn't the
over.
case in the tavern back in Saugard, though, was it?
Absolutely. not.
Ooh.
You don't need to have alcohol to enjoy yourself.
Oh,
We'll
don't
see
you
about
start with that now.
It certainly takes the edge off, though, doesn't it?
Maybe
Anyway,
a tipple. Just a tipple.
sip some spicy juice.
As you're all sharing a moment, a familiar, slender blue dragonborn comes through the archway. It's a fairy, you'd recognise them. It's one of the guides that have aided you through. Ah, fantastic. Guildmaster. Friends and family of the Guildmaster. Jemias is awaiting your arrival in his throne room. He's been awaiting your arrival before anyone is allowed into the building. The party can commence properly. But yes, please do follow me. Is there anything else, anything you need at any point? Don't hesitate to ask.
So, all of these poor fools have been waiting to start the party until we got here. How cruel.
Well, there's the entertainment outside. Jemias wanted to make sure that the homestead was ready properly. So,
Oh.
please,
Let's not keep them waiting.
leads you through and up that wide set, curved stairway. As you head in, up those familiar stairs, you can hear a muffled chuckle, gruff, followed by a short cough. As you get to the top of the stairs, you see Jemias. And comparatively, he has... he's tried to smarten himself up, but it's hard to get Jemias-sized smart clothes at short notice. So, rather than a suit, he's wearing a smart waistcoat, very smart, gold threaded inlay, some kind of gem encrusted on the buttons, but it's not a full suit. He's wearing a robe over the top of it in a nice, like navy kind of cashmere, soft material. And you see
We're going in.
Yeah.
Because obviously, Jin and Scaff do have a mission we need to do. Because this is the first time we're going into the building.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and look around, see if I can see any like doors that would like lead downstairs, any sort of like anything hidden, but like looking around as in awe whilst I'm trying to look around like, wow, this is pretty swanky, but trying to look for
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
way down effectively.
Give me a perception check then as you go through. So you've basically come through the foyer into the corridor and then up the stairs. So you've not really had that much chance to explore just yet, at least. But see if you can see anything.
Oh, that is
Wait, mate, that's pretty swanky.
that's a 21.
21. 21.
21.
So you paying close attention in your awestruck pretense, trying to look around, Similarly to when Zafira was trying to look, you can't really make out anything beyond the area that you're in. You know, there's doorways, there's archways, without fully exploring. You can see that there is a number of like serving staff or other party goers that are coming from further down the corridor beyond an archway, but in this section there's no like obvious basement with an arrow. You know, there's nothing, or stairs that you can see going down. There's nothing that you pick up on in this first area.
Like a blinking sign on the wall that says
Ding,
vault.
ding, vault down there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just more
knowing
about
his
obviously-
ego, there might have been. Okay.
Yeah, well, it's, neon lights.
But yeah,
Look at my
that's-
treasure. Look how rich I am.
You keep
Yeah, that's what Scaff's like constantly
keeping
looking
an
at
eye out for. Yeah.
Yeah.
You go up the stairs. You see Jemias in his robe and his posh waistcoat, and you see he has a sip of something, and he looks, and you see immediately he sits up. It's probably the quickest you've seen him move, and you all audibly hear from across the way. It's a good 30, 40 feet away, and you hear like the creak of the wood of his chaise longue, or a chaise wide, I should call it, as he sits up. Well, I've been, well, don't you all look magnificent? He says all, but he's only looked at the girls.
Oh, my eyes are slits.
Like, ba-ding.
Yeah. It's like he's gone to Scaff looking at Zafira. Nice to see you, Scaff.
Words. Watch your words, fancy man.
Well, do come in. I don't believe I've met everybody. Vitani, pleasure, of course, absolutely mine. And Zafira, it's a very nice choice of dresses you've made. You look magnificent, both of you. And your guards, entourage, friends, who do we have here?
They're my
Straighten
friends.
my jacket. I'll hold the blade and I take a bow. Chosen Jin, Lord of Doria Sai. At your service.
He looks around.
Step forward, lower my head. My name is Azura.
I've heard that name whispered on the wind of late. Octavian's prince.
Yes.
Well, in the presence of magnificence and royalty. And who else do we have?
Forward. Give a bow. Scaff. Squad leader of Loctorpian. Brother to the captain of Loctorpian.
Well, what interesting company you keep. Of course, Jemias Tolderren, Lord of the House, and, proud partner of our wonderful Vitani, our newest Guildmaster. So, I think the stage is set. Is there anything at all that you need from me before I open the house and begin the party? If you all had something to eat, drink, anything you need, please, just find somebody, they'll get it for you.
Where's your vault room?
Well, actually,
I
if
heard
you-
you were rich.
Oh, I'd be glad to show you, but you'll have to carry me back up the stairs. Is there
Won't
anyone?
come up the stairs.
No. Is there anyone you have invited that we should take note of, especially? Anyone of great importance?
Well, the captain of the guard will be in attendance, making sure proper introductions are made there, because, of course, through the work, the more that the city guard are aware, keeping them on the right page is important. Who else? The heads of the houses, I'm not sure how many you've met. Unfortunately, I've only heard back from Magda. I've not heard back from Pursuua. And old Octavian, I was expecting to see him, but he's not replied. So... But yes, meeting the heads of the houses is important, whether you do it now. Well, leave them to it. This is our party. Who else? I've invited the stable master, the boar riders. Have you seen them? He's going to be in attendance, keeping the boars in check. Quite often people will ask about transport and steed. The boars are what Dragoon offer, so knowing them could be a good way to provide business. You see, he has a creepy smirk when he says business. Miriam and Broads. Who else? A lot of the, populace. I've tried to contact the heads of the churches, in case there's any religious work. I've not heard back from them. Someone said that I received a missive. The Avia Church is... Or is it the Orthodox? Something's happening. So they might be here. Look for the white, orange, blue. They wear different coloured robes.
Yes.
I think mostly it's just making sure everyone's aware of your face and they know who to come to, Vitani. Do you have any questions? Vitani's kind of just stood there, like, she's got that
Help?
smile, like, yeah, please let this list not continue all night of people I need to speak to. And she's like, hey, thank you, Jemais. I will speak to as many people as I can. But as long as everyone enjoys themselves and kind of, you feel her, like, clench her bicep, Zafira, as she, like, just... Yes. Is there... you say you're allowing people into the house. How many people are you expecting? Well, the house will be open. I suppose as long as there's space on the floor to move around, then, the guards at front won't let too many in. Similarly, I imagine there'll be a toing and froing. I've got some entertainers coming, and we'll do what we can.
Well, you really went all out, huh?
Well, she kind of takes the compliment. Well, I have to make sure everybody knows that Tolderren and the guild are important. So,
Of course.
Yeah, is there any questions? Anything before we open the doors?
Not for me.
Nope.
Well, I
My
will.
name is Ignio Montoya, and you helped kill my family. Prepare to die.
I will mostly remain here unless I'm absolutely needed elsewhere. So if you need me, you know where to find me. Anything else, one of the staff will help.
Under my breath, I will say, it's not like you can move anywhere.
As Jin stood next to me.
I'll just kind of pat Vitani's arm. All right, let's go talk to some people, huh?
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, we can start with Magda. You know Magda.
Yes.
Ease you into conversation.
You hear a bit of a guttural croak come from Jemias' throat as he... Open the doors! And you hear shuffling of feet from downstairs as people seem to be making their way into position.
That's a lot of noise from a big man.
You hear the various footsteps of people entering the household.
Are they staying downstairs?
Who can relate with Jeremiah?
Or some coming up?
For the as people come into the house, you can hear like the hustle and bustle of people. You know, the house it's filling quick. Like a lot of people seem to want to be coming in. You hear music start from elsewhere in the building. Bit of an ambiance. Give me perception checks, everybody.
Ooh.
Ooh.
No, I'm focusing on my sister. I got a 3.
Fuck. A 17.
23.
12.
Yeah. Jin, with an above 20. You can hear that the music's similar to outside. Whether they've come in or there's another group. You can hear there's lute, tambourine, and some singing. But Jin, you notice that walking, as you're in the kind of throne room with Jemias, walking from elsewhere and heading down the stairs, there are 3 entertainers. 3 entertainers that you recognise.
Oh, it's not them, is it?
There is... let me confirm that I get the right ones. But yes, you recognise the 3 entertainers who make their way downstairs and disappear out of sight.
So they're the ones that put my castle to sleep, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I mean, they were the last present. Yeah.
Yeah, they were the ones that put my castle to sleep. And put a spell on my door. My door! I'll sort of nudge the scaff. Well, entertainment for night is people we've met before.
Yes, I wanted to make sure I got it right. In particular, you recognise the tiefling lady who had the ribbony. The basically like ribbon whips. Yeah. There is the tabaxi who had the juggling pins similar to those that you acquired, and there is the guy that kind of looks like a pirate, but he's got a lute. So there's you can see that he's pulls off his lute as they're going down the stairs, starts to strum a similar tunage to it's Ant and Deck and their cameraman. a similar tunage to match that's already being played. And then he follows the two down who are just like juggling, doing the ribbonies. You don't
The
see...
ones that put my sisters to sleep.
Yeah.
I
mean,
Someone's
which
gonna
of
die
them you don't? You don't see the human that had the fire stick, and you don't see the kind of main announcer, the guy who had the sheet that bared the copper.
The circus chief.
The circus chief, yeah. So
I'm just going to hang back.
Yeah.
With Jin, and under my breath, I'm going to say, what's the chance they're here on this night from when we're here?
Honestly, I think they might be here for the same reason we are.
Oh.
I'll walk over to slightly behind Severa. A wandering troop is here. Keep an eye on the drinks.
Just nods. All right, let's go downstairs. Let's find Magda, huh? Vitani.
Yes, absolutely. You see that her guard they're constantly keeping like 15, 20 feet away. They don't want to disturb her, but they're there in case, She asked you guys to watch out with the old tail scratch on the head, but that's more just a people issue. If there was an actual issue, they'd have the honor guard to deal with.
They might get eaten. Whoops.
Oh no!
Oh no! Anyway.
Oh no! Anyway.
So what time of day are we roughly on?
So now it's like mid to late afternoon. As the party's gonna kick off, you guys have arrived. The party had kind of loosely started outside. You reckon within the hour it'll probably start like sundown, The sun will start setting in about an hour,
Time to start social engineering people. So, just so it's a simpler for yourself, what Scaff's going to do, he's going to mingle around the party.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to mainly try and talk to people of House Tolderren. Like, drink, let them people drink. Just, talk to them about, the house is beautiful. Just get them talking themselves about, so they might slip up and say something.
Okay.
So it's like Scaffle, he'll eat, he'll keep the alcohol to a very bare minimum, so it looks like he is still taking part, but effectively social engineering people into talking for them to try and slip up. So me and Jin have got that much easier of getting to our main goal, as it was.
Okay. Cool.
But it's I will be genuinely interested in what they're saying about certain things, just to throw people off the game.
Okay. So give me a deception check and a persuasion check. Now, before you do, Jin, what's your plan?
I'm basically just gonna be following Zafira for a little bit as she is going to spend some time, probably trying to mingle in a little bit, add some weight where I can, and pay attention to rotations of potential guards in the room.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to keep my my perception out in that respect. Maybe try and pick up on some conversation between guards if they relieve each other, if something is said. And I'm keeping an eye on where our traveling troop of compatriots is, and if their missing members show up at some point.
Okay. So you will be a perception and an investigation check.
Yeah. Oh.
Just remember those two. So Scaff, persuasion, deception. Jin, perception, investigation. Zafira?
I'm mostly going to make sure that my sister is having an okay time socializing with people to actually achieve what she came here. And just see if I can keep people involved in conversation. So I'm really just... Well, I guess I'm more of an accessory to my sister than anything else.
Okay.
Because I know what she has a hard time with socializing, because that was never really a thing.
Yep. Okay.
So I'll keep people in conversations, help her along those conversations so it doesn't really get awkward. And make sure she talks to as many people as possible to keep people busy in that sense.
Okay, fantastic. So you will be a persuasion check and a charisma saving throw.
Okay.
Which will act as a buffer for Vitani not losing her mind.
Plus 11. Yes.
Hell yeah. Plus, is that plus 11 plus 4? Or does that
No, plus
include
11 total. I think it's already
your
included.
buffer includes, yeah. Azura.
Yeah, it's already included.
What's Azura's plan? As the party starts.
He's just going to just be mingling around among the people, sampling different foods, drinks, just trying to relax. He's got a lot on his mind at the moment, and he's going to try to take this as a downtime R&R, just to try to take his mind off things and try and enjoy a moment while he can.
Okay. One thing. Oh, yeah. So you will have a we'll call it a perception check, just while you're keeping you go around, and you will also have a charisma saving throw. Starting with you. You notice, Azura, as the first hour of the party commences, into perhaps the second hour, a lot of people are conversing with Vitani. Vitani and Zafira are making their way around. You can tell a lot of people want to talk to them, but she's also approaching people to show face. What you do notice, as you progress through this party, and people have spoken to Vitani and they've had a few spicy juices, attentions turn, once they've, had their conversations, attentions turn to you. And more people start approaching you, questioning you about Octavian, why nobody ever sees him, why you're so important to him, why are you the prince? And basically, you start getting a bit badgered. My man wants to have a nice bit of downtime at a party, but you soon find, as the party progresses, you start getting hassled. Zafira, of course, your persuasion check and your charisma save is to help Vitani, so let's have those, please.
Okay. Persuasion is a 17.
Okay.
Charisma saving throw is a 28.
28. Very nice. You see at a couple of points, Vitani does start to she looks a bit anxious. She's, as you say, she's not used to social situations, never mind being the focal point of one. But, and you're probably quite well aware that if you weren't there to help her head would probably go. So you've most certainly kept her on the straight and narrow there. Give me a percentile as well, please, Saphira.
A percentile.
I'll say with advantage because your charisma save was so high.
Okay. Ooh, good thing I had that. 98.
98. Very nice. Okay. Get to that in a bit. Jin, your perception and your investigation, please.
My perception was a 26. I rolled a 15, and my investigation was a 19 because I rolled an 8.
Okay. So, investigating, you do notice that, as we're kind of covering the first and second hour, as things progress, you notice they're keeping a bombastic side eye on the troop. They pay you and your troop 0 attention whatsoever. Like, for a troop that has met you guys, they met you in the desert, and obviously had a job to do at Dora Yusai, and you're wearing the flag of Dora Yusai, they pay you 0 attention. And because of your high perception, you notice that and like, I'll couple it with your passive insight, you notice that it's obviously so. Maybe once, maybe twice, you notice where there could have been an opportunity to either interact or look at you guys. They're actively not. It's not in any weird way, I suppose. They're going around the group.
Probably naturals at it, right?
Yeah, like a magician would go up to random people. You notice after a period of time, you notice that they're actively avoiding you guys. Scath,
Okay.
Your persuasion and your deception.
My deception was a 16.
Okay.
I rolled an 18, but I've obviously got a -2. So
Hell
16 on deception, and then same with I got a 14 on perception. Did you say perception?
Persuasion.
Persuasion, yeah, 14 on persuasion.
Okay. So as you're
-2
schmoozing,
to all charisma.
yeah, as you're schmoozing your way, speaking to the Tolderren and stuff, give me a percentile check. Your rolls would basically determine the DC of the percentile.
Too bad. 74.
Good.
Well,
After-
could be good, I don't know.
Yeah. Into the second hour. The first hour, everyone's more concerned on talking to Vitani. You get kind of friendly conversation pieces, but it's more you can tell that people are just being polite and don't really want to talk unless it's to, absolutely no offense, someone quote unquote important. Not that you're not important, but you know what I mean. Like, they want Vitani, they want Jemias, or so they make conversation with you. Into the second hour, when a couple of spicy juices have flown, coupling this with gin, you both pick up that there is whilst there's members of the house enjoying the party, there is a rotation of the guard happening. That you just hear references to halfway through the party, which seems shit because how do you put halfway through on a party? But that's what you've heard. About halfway through the party, there's a rotation of the guard.
Second shift's just fucked because the second shift lasts like 10 hours.
Yeah, it's like halfway through the party, but then the party goes on for another 3 days. Motherfuckers. Oh, God damn it. On that note, well, we'll leave it at that for this first part. We can maybe make more decisions on what you got to do further on.
I'll probably try and reconnect with Scaff.
Yeah?
Also, like, when I noticed that Vitani is a little more comfortable, I don't need to, like, give somebody, like, a fire eye to sort of, like, stop talking and move off. Also, like, lean into Zeph before leaving. Gonna check up with our Chaos Lizard for a moment. And I'll softer say, beware that the troop is actively trying to avoid us. Watch your drinks. I'll sort of
Do.
slink away to find the Chaos Lizard.
Yeah.
Schmoozing awkwardly.
Yeah.
Hey, just like sit up.
Hey.
Bestie.
Hi, bestie.
Where have you been? You're here
Got
too.
a drink.
And this glorious hobgoblin here.
Azura, what's your plan?
Well, if there's groups of people coming to question him, is that just still he would try to be as polite to them as possible when talking to them. Answer some questions as he can, but without going into details. Just saying basically that he doesn't really know Octavian that well. And as for the prince, it's like, you know, I knew nothing about this.
Are you a prince or are you not a prince?
Well, I don't know. I was told about this when I first come here by Octavian.
So Octavian's turning people royalty?
What? No, that he says that is what my lineage, my blood is, but I know I don't know.
Blood and lineage. Oh, that's interesting. I mean, no offense, fella, we don't know you, but what makes you so special?
Oh, Papa. Well, for starters, that's rude. But apparently I'm the only one of my kind.
Oh, you're not a dragonborn like all of us. You look blue. I thought you were Tolderren at first.
No, I'm apparently not, and I'll just tilt my head down and gesture to my horns, which are
gem-like.
And these are questions I've had since I was a child of myself. That I don't know who I am. I don't know what I am, and I was hoping to try to find out answers here, but I'm just getting more questions than I'm.
You see another one comes over. Says,
How far away is this from where me and my sister are?
You're probably all in the main building area.
Yeah.
Earshot's difficult because there's a lot of people. I mean, you could probably see, you'd be able to see it if you wanted to, like, pay attention.
Can I know it's a bit further away, but can I maybe insight it to see if he's uncomfortable or not?
Yeah, give me an insight check. Azura, give me I suppose, persuasion or deception, whether you're trying to hide it or not, or how.
15?
Or if you're actively not trying to hide it, if you look uncomfortable, it's up to you.
I mean,
like even with a 15 insight, like irrespective of how you think Azura's acting, you can tell that people seem to be badgering him a bit.
Well, it was a deception on it was a 15 on the die, so 16, because he's not trying to look uncomfortable to the people, but he's because he doesn't want to.
But he's obviously getting pestered.
Yeah, Severa probably knows you well enough that a 16 would be your brave face in it to the people, but she could probably tell that. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah.
Now this depends on how far I am into conversation with whoever Vitani and I are talking to.
I think based on your roles, you're quite confident that, especially with the guard nearby, you don't have to be with her 100% of the time,
I'll just kind of look at her like, right, I'll be just a second. I'll get myself something else to drink. Do you want something too?
Yes, I'll take whatever, and she says with a smile. And she's currently talking to the stable master, and you can tell that she feels quite comfortable with this guy because he seems a bit gruff and tumble, and he looks after boars for a living. So she's like, "Yeah, cool. Let's talk about the boars."
I can respect that. Yeah,
I'll meet for breakfast.
I'll wave someone, or not wave them down, but I find some like a tray of drink.
Yeah. There's plenty of people just meandering through,
and then I'll just pick something. No idea what it is. It's something.
Yeah.
I'll just pick two, and then I'll walk over to Azura casually. So, how are we enjoying the party?
It's. I was just hoping to relax, but I knew I should have expected some kind of attention. But
Well, what can you expect? You're sparkly.
I suppose, yeah. Mind you, there's plenty of time. I'm just going to try and power through this. And
Just kind of shoot the people he was talking to a bit of a glare. Having pleasant conversation.
oh yes, we're just asking the chap a bit about himself. Interested in old Octavian's plans. Where is he anyway?
Probably in his tower, where he always is.
You hear one of them chuckle at the back. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen him leave.
how is Vitani getting on?
Oh, good. She's currently talking to the stable master.
Excellent. Well, it seems to be going well for her.
Yeah. It's a lively party, isn't it?
It is. It's a lot. I don't know what I was expecting, but
Well,
You see, as
Makes
you
them
come
look-
over to talk to him, the people are like, it's one of them that probably in normal company, it'd probably be considered rude to just come over and steal someone's conversation, and they kind of just stand there for a few seconds having a drink and then realise that Azura's just talking to you now, and they start to disperse.
leaning a bit. You're welcome. Want a drink?
oh god, yes.
Hand over one of the cups.
That is.
I have no idea what it is.
Well, we both got one. Let's find out together. Cheers.
Cheers.
I'll
Tink.
take a long drink of that, whatever it is.
How much is this drink? Is it like a chalice or is it like a shot glass?
So but a lot of the drinks are probably in like small tumblers. There is shots going round, and there's some in small flutes. So it depends. It could be any. It's up to you whether you wanted to get
I think
shots,
she
flutes,
probably
or
would've-
tumblers.
Probably would have taken a flute.
Yeah.
So 2 flutes, I suppose.
Yeah, it tastes like quite a floral wine.
Not bad.
Yes, I could definitely have a few more of them tonight.
Doesn't beat plum wine though. That was delicious.
Yeah.
And just a bit too strong. Somewhere across the room. Someone say
Plum
plum wine? Where?
You never know. They may have some here. It's
Maybe.
But yeah, thank you for that. I really
No
appreciate it.
worries.
Where is
Well,
the
Mm,
other two anyway? They seem to have...
no idea.
Oh well, they're probably enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
I hope Scath started drinking now, because
Oh, maybe a little bit, but you know how he is now.
oh yeah, no fun anymore.
It's gotten so stiff. Shakes her head a little bit. Right, this was actually meant for my sister, so I'm gonna go get another one.
Oh,
Well,
I'm
kind
sorry.
of just. No, don't worry. Just gonna clap him on the back a little bit. If they pester you again, you let me know.
I appreciate that. I'm gonna finish the drink and just put it down anywhere. Don't care.
Oh, and I leans in a little bit. I know you really like the twins, but there's lots of pretty women at this party too, just saying.
I might go and have a look around.
You do that. Window shopping.
Hey,
I was
yeah.
Bad pack. You do that. You do that.
First,
Goes
I'm
to
gonna
find
get
another person with a tray to get another drink.
Yeah, there's people. You can you pick up on now whilst there's people meandering around, almost as if they've been instructed to look after you guys, almost instinctually. As you're Azura puts his glass down, someone comes and collects it, and as you're holding one glass, someone else kind of meanders nearby, trying not to make it obvious that they're not serving you, but there always conveniently seems to be someone nearby when you need them. Ting.
Yeah, I'll take another 2 drinks.
Glass appears.
Yeah.
And I'll just go back over it.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Azura, give me a charisma saving throw.
Well, you did tell me to do one before, but you never took it. So
Yeah,
I'll use that
sorry.
one.
Yeah,
It was a 9.
9. Ah, fantastic.
But I'm here.
You
I was
weren't
just next to you. Oh, fair.
Yeah, this was before when he was being
Fair.
badgered. With a 9, these conversations, the more people that come over and start badgering you, your attention's alleviated a lot now that Zafir has come and kind of intentionally, awkwardly dispersed them from their badgering. In the back of your mind, as you take a little sip and you look around, you watch Zafira make her way back over to her sister, and you just look around at the various people at the party. Just in the back of your mind, you hear a familiar skittering. Comes and it goes. But even over the noise of the conversation and the bards, quietly in the back of your mind, you hear it. Scath and Jin. What's the next steps?
So
I've
I'll
not-
probably try and reconnect with Scaff.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of nudge him to the entertainers, being like, "Hey, you're actively avoiding us. Just something to keep in mind."
Just nod along, like you're having a conversation to not draw attention to our own side.
Yeah.
And then it's just speak conversation like about, what I've discovered so far, like talking about the decor on, like slipping. I've not seen anything interesting yet. Just like as if I haven't got enough where to go just yet.
Fill him in on the guards that are going to have a shift change halfway through. But I'm also baffled at what halfway through then probably should or could mean. Yeah, that's something to figure out. I don't know that yet.
So while you've been paying active attention, and now you've kind of met up and you've had a conversation, you'll notice that whilst there's in the wider foyer and main areas, there doesn't really seem to be anywhere people haven't been. There's like you're not allowed to go kind of thing. There's nowhere. There's no obvious guards that are like keep out kind of thing. The general flow of guards meandering, service staff coming and going. You know that they're the kitchens at least, or there's servicemen's areas is towards the back. So if you've come in the front, it would be towards the back half. But yeah, but other than that, without further investigation, there's not anything terribly obvious.
And then just conversation like as well, like have you referring to like the ring of whatever it's called to see through? So have your eyes seen anything, you know, glancing past things?
I'll sort of like look around like I'm looking for like pretending to look for women. I'll just sort of see like, no, not yet. I'm waiting until something special comes around.
How do you look for women?
Like, you know, it's like you know,
It's a guy thing.
Like, little cocky smile on his face as he's sort of like,
Where are the females?
Window shopping.
he does it. Window shopping, exactly, yeah.
How does one look for women? Is this what the male gaze is?
It's like not approvingly, but you've got Zafira, calm you? You know, calm the jets, lad.
So
Yeah, but next you'll be saying that you're going to go after Vitani next. Try and go for the family crown.
Just someone walks past as you say that and says, "Oh, Vitani's the new guildmaster. I'd be careful, lad." Just carries on.
probably nail mark somewhere on my back. I'm like, yeah, probably should be careful. Yeah. Ah.
But just still, it's just like try and spend. Obviously, as the party gets later and later, it's just more try and social engineer people more, a bit more, like loosen get the lungs, tongues talking, loosen them up, have some more drinks. Again, I'm keeping mine to that very bare minute. I'm going to mix it with water just to dilute it, just to keep sober.
Yeah, okay. Give me another persuasion check and another deception check. I'll say you can do them with advantage if Jin's kind of lingering with you.
Advantage. Okay, so let's do deception. All right, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. That's a 19.
Okay.
And
so you maintain your gaze of actively being interested and having a drink without actually having much of a drink.
And persuasion, that's a 17.
17. So as more time throughout the party progresses, you hear that as it gets later, the party turns from simple bardic into gets a little bit more rowdy. The tambourine becomes more of a drum. Whatever they're beating on, it gets a bit louder. It gives you vibes flashing back to the storm when everyone was just buzzing at the weather. As expected, as a bit of social engineering continues, Scath and Jin meandering around. You, go on.
I'll try and find out how long staff, if they're coming around to like do drinks and stuff, how long they think the party will last. So how long will you be serving drinks for? Those kind of questions.
You get a couple of as polite as can be, if not a little dejected. Like he was planning for an all-nighter. They've been put on shift for. They haven't been told a clock off time. Put it that way. That they are to serve until the serving is done. So it was expected to go on. But with, finding out that it's going for the long haul, the music picks up. Scaff's trying to pretend not to be drunk and, try and find out what he can. You notice that there is a change of the guard. Just in case you wanted to capitalise on it, you notice that a lot of the guard start heading en masse towards the back, where all the staff have been coming and going from. And that would probably indicate... I mean, you've been guards. If anyone could determine how an obvious change of the guard would look, there's signs. You know what they are. So you notice that's happening. You do hear one person mention they thought Jemias would be a bit more protective or a bit less open with his house because, a rich man has things. And they don't give too much away, but they start to say things like that.
Yeah. I will, as the guard starts changing, now that I have at least 2 charges on the ring. Because we're on a lower level, right? So there's the entrance, then we went downstairs.
Yeah, so so you're on ground level. You went in ground level up to Jemias' throne room, and you've probably come back down to... I mean, there's people upstairs, obviously, in and around his throne room, but the main schmoozing, especially following Vitani and Zafira, is happening down in the ground level, the main foyer area of the house.
Do we see a way down?
Not from the main lobby area.
So, obviously, because we've been at the party, obviously, for a few hours now,
Mm-hmm.
Do the old trick of you've had a few to drink, you try to find the toilet, you accidentally go into the wrong room, effectively. Just do that every now and again.
Yeah, you mean investigation check?
I'll
say with advantage because you're doing it over a period.
And because I'm sober.
Yeah.
Investigation. Oh, that's 18.
Yeah. As you meander through, you notice that, as people have been saying, the surprise Jemias hasn't been a bit more protective. Nowhere seems to be off limits, weirdly so. You start going into rooms. They seem to be... There's a lot of side rooms, lounge rooms, small areas where there's, food set up. There's a lot of just openness about this place. You head towards the back. No one really stops you as you head towards the kitchens. You can see there's constant, you get to the back and you can smell there's canapes constantly being made. You see at one point there's a dragonborn carrying 2 buff dragonborn carrying a large keg of some kind of liquid, whatever it is, and they come from the back, and you notice that they've come up a set of spiralling stairs. As you meander around, you notice that there is a similar set of stairs a distance away across the building, but that also seems to be going down. So whether they're going down to the same area, similar areas, different areas, but you pick up on 2 ways down. There would be a north.
Are they?
We'll call it a north and a south, just to differentiate between them.
Are they guarded or?
No, not. That's what I mean. There's nowhere You see a couple of people coming and going up and down stair sets and the like. Yeah, nowhere seems to be prohibited.
Yeah, just like Miranda back to obviously Jin, let him know about the spiral stairs, like, you know, subtly, like, you know, in conversation, like.
I'll sort of nod. I'll sort of like in conversation talk back with Scaff and be like, I'll probably ask the girls to move upstairs.
Jin, because you're paying more attention to this guard situation, give me an investigation check with disad. The disad being that without actively following where the guards go, you know, you're just trying to determine where they're going without making it obvious.
14.
14. You see the majority of the guards head towards the southern stair set, but there is some that go to the northern stair set as well. So the majority of the guards seem to have gone to the southern stairs.
Yeah, I'll sort of nudge Scaff to like look at, like, I'll nudge him towards the direction of the southern one, and like pull up a thumb, and then to the north, be like, trying to indicate like there's more there than there is there.
Bust out the old move of like big fish, little fish cardboard box.
Yeah. And I'll very briefly make my way to Saphira and Vitani.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gone pretty swimmingly. As I said before, like Vitani's, like you can see her confidence is radiating, but you know it's because she's got you with her. If you weren't there, she would have absolutely crashed out. But yeah, the conversation's flowing nicely. She's met the captain of the guard. She's arranged for, you know, if whilst business comes through the guild house, if there's anyone clearly being a dodgy bastard, they'll be involved. The stable master, she's arranged a contract that she'll send people to them, and he will subsidise the guild for anyone that's sent for that needs a steed or a boar. You know, she's doing well. And Jin approaches.
So I'll put my hand on Zaf's lower back. How's the party?
Going great, I think. Also, this wine is quite nice.
No, it isn't quite plum wine, though.
It's not. But it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But mind you, if
Maybe
we
I
had
should
plum wine, I probably couldn't have been on my, except the flute, third.
Hey, maybe not. Maybe you would be. People are resistance to those things. Hey, maybe if I remind Jeremiah not to fund the next burning down of my castle, I might send him a crate of the bottles. I have a good vintage laying around.
Did they really recover wine in that castle?
Maybe not. I don't know. They're counting my reserves.
Oh, I see.
If whenever you're comfortable, I think it might be time for Vitani to get more comfortable upstairs, perhaps. And I'll sort of leaning closer. And I'll leaning closer and be like, maybe drag some people with the back up here.
I'll look over at Vitani, sort of judging where she is in conversation right now.
Yeah,
she's going towards the end or still in the middle.
Yeah, kind of like between conversations almost. She's not currently speaking to anyone of noticeable importance.
I'll just look over to Vitani and be like, well, been down here for quite some time. Should we see what's going on upstairs?
Yes, hopefully Janias is enjoying his party.
I bet he is. Probably hasn't moved though.
She tries to stifle an obvious laugh.
I think he'll be where we left him. Is what I'm trying to
Probably.
say.
Yes. But yeah, we can go upstairs if you'd like.
I'd see if we can meet anyone upstairs that we haven't met yet.
Don't have too much fun.
We'll do our best. No promises. And I'll offer Vitani my arm again.
Yeah, she takes your arm. Lead on.
I'll look at the
go
two
upstairs.
Dragonborn leaving. Just for a moment.
Yeah.
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 Go and find Scaff again.
Excellent work.
He's got a tail fetish.
I mean, have you seen them?
Brother.
Yeah, easy enough to
Yeah.
find Scaff.
Come to a realization. You're muted. One lucky son of a bitch. Anyway.
Scaff pulls a face of like, luck is not anything we've had in the last. How long? It's like, when have we? What? When has
Well,
luck
maybe
been
not
on
you,
our side?
but I have been. Maybe you not, but I have been.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, brother.
Give it 6 months. The honeymoon phase will wear off.
I might be planning my honeymoon in 6 months, thanks to you.
I give you the ring. You don't have to use it in 6 months, but yeah,
If the last couple of weeks have taught me anything, I don't got that much time.
I could officiate for you, being a cleric of the cloth now. Yeah.
Orphus, help me.
I just got that vision from Pirates at Caribbean. We're in mid-fight, literally could be life or death. And Will and what was it
I'm
like?
a little busy at the
Barbosa!
moment.
I'm a little busy at the moment.
Fighting for his domain
Quick,
up there.
before we die.
Such a good film. Ah,
Yeah, I'm a little busy at the moment.
Azura, what are you
Anyway.
up to?
Getting the old skitterishness in the back of his head, I would have tried to find a corner just to sit down with a drink and hopefully let the noise of the party try and drown it out. And just sit there with his drink, but still trying to enjoy the party because that's what he wants to do.
Yeah, give me another charisma saving throw. Seven. You try your best. I mean, you enjoy a drink for a while, but whilst like you can see your pals like flicking about, having a drink, having a chat. You've noticed the ladies like schmoozing. Zafira, like you can pick up that Zafira's obviously like just being a rock for her sister. As you're trying to let the sounds of the party like wash over you, every so often you get that skittering in the back of your head.
I think now, after that, the second time happening, the sounds of the party, seeing that his friends are getting on with what they need to do, Zafir and Vitani quite heavily into doing their schmoozing. Doesn't see Scath and Jin. He doesn't know what they're up to. I think he might actually try and take a walk outside just to try and quieten his mind, just to clear it of all the noise and the hullabaloo that's going on. Just to try and get some fresh air.
Yeah. You make your way to the doorway. As you pass, there's a guy, one of the servers holds up another tray. Another drink, should you wish to take it. You make your way outside. Yeah. Head outside. There's still a lot of people knocking about. People are dancing. As I say, the bards have picked up the pace a little bit, like the lute playing. There's a tambourine and a bit of a drum situation going on. So the people are having a good time. You can tell the alcohol's flowed a bit, but there's still quite a lot of people knocking about.
Right, okay. Is any other people coming up to me again now? Are they
not
approach?
Just as you go outside? People seem to be just engaging with themselves. Give me a perception check.
15.
15. You do notice, while no one's immediately coming up to you, there is the odd, you notice people do seem to be noticing you and talking about you. But no one comes up to bother you in the meter right away.
Is it obvious that they're talking about me?
Yeah, they're pointing towards you and talking. Whether it's good or bad, you can't quite tell. There's noise and people and dancing, But people are obviously talking about you, one way or another.
I think now he's probably had a few drinks now.
Yeah.
And instead of being overwhelmed by the fact that people were coming up to him, constantly talking to him, badgering him, I think seeing the people now pointing and clearly talking about him, that's going to get to him a bit. That's going to wind him up. And he doesn't want to be this basically like a showpiece. And he's just going to finish his drink and he's going to leave. He's going to leave the party. Walk out just to get away from them.
Go clear his head. Okay.
Yeah.
Come back to you as you disappear for a bit then. Okay. Boys, what are you up to then? You notice as Zafira and Vitani head upstairs, there's like a small, loose crowd of people kind of follow them up, and there's a bit of, like, Vitani's trying to put on a bit of a kind of show thing. You can tell that people have started to be a bit raptured by her taking her attention, and Zafira's with her, and the entourage are following back, and you can tell that they're normally so firm and ready. They're like always on edge, but even they've kind of relaxed their shoulders a bit, and they're just following to be present. I think they're quite confident that nothing's going to happen. Like, a lot of people head upstairs.
So look at Scaff. Nor for Saf.
Alf? Most heavily guarded.
What if I stumble down north looking for the toilet, and you stumble down south? Maybe invisible, maybe not. Up to you.
I was about to say, is it time to disappear?
Meet back here in 10 minutes with our findings.
Yep.
All right. I'll start wandering to the northern stairs then.
Okay.
Same. I'll start heading south, and I'll judge the crowd of how drunk they are, so I can cast invisibility on the ring, just so I can be like, you know when you're drunk and you do that double take of like, was something there, or was it just like,
little lizards passing into the crowd, and then suddenly a person
Just
steps
like-
in the front, and the person steps on, and there's no more
There's
lizard.
no more lizard, yeah. I mean, yeah,
and then shade away.
yeah. Like by all means, to remind you as well, there's like plenty of archways, doorways, side rooms. You could just nip in, shade away, and nip out, and no one would really pay much attention. It's easily done. You can get yourself
disappear.
invisible. Okay.
Same as usual. Like hold the breath, because obviously I can hold it for 15 minutes, and shade away.
Shade away. So, let me find my scaff. Let me find my gin. So scaff's going south, gin's going north.
Yep.
Okay. So let me entertain you. Share my screen. Or is it remembered my settings? Can you guys view that and it's not fucked with the...
Just seeing a normal stream at the moment.
Yeah. Stream looks good.
No, I mean, can you
looks
see
normal,
in
Yeah.
Discord, can you see the screen that I've shared? Yeah?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, let me flick over to this screen. Okay. So, Scath. Start with you in the south. Let me go ahead and give you a blue base for invisibility. So
Got to
you
roll stealth as well, or
yeah, give me a stealth check with advantage because you are invisible.
That would be a 21.
21. Okay. As you come down the stairs, you notice it kind of it's like a enclosed area. It opens out into what appears to be a corridor. If you want to give me a perception check.
Perception, that's 14.
14. So, you look down the corridor, and you can see that there are 2 blue Dragonborn guards next to a set of double doors. You look down the corridor. The corridor turns left at the end.
How illuminated is it down here?
So there is small amount of light. There's a couple of small sconces on the wall. It's I've got the light on here. It's not very illuminated because it's underground, of course, but there's a little bit of light.
So, whilst stealthed, I'm just going to stick to the walls, to the shadows, as quiet as I can, and just observe the guards who are there for like not too long, like 30 seconds, if that.
Yeah. They appear to just be having a conversation. You hear them reference the fact that now they've changed the guards. Give me an insight, just to see how much of it you pick up on.
It's insight. That's a 15.
15. Do you speak Draconic?
I do.
You do. So you hear them reference the fact that they'll be on shift all night, but Jemias is paying well. They're not expecting any trouble, but if anyone comes down, he's not put any area off limits. So you just to politely, tell people to head back upstairs. That there's nothing down here for them. But of course, if anyone does get rowdy, then they've got to do what they've got to do. You hear this guy. He says, kind of hopes that someone does kick off, but they're not expecting it. They also reference the fact that there is guards at the holding room. You hear them mention once or twice.
Right. And then just try and, when they're obviously they're down here by themselves, the guards. Obviously they're not going to be stood 100% still. Or
yeah, they do a little bit of wandering, but they don't really go far.
Keeping to the shadows in the wall, I'm just going to try and go down to the end of the corridor.
Okay.
Past them, see, is that door to the right? Is it fully sealed?
Yeah, it's just two. They look like stone and wood doors, just shut. They're not obviously bolted or chained or anything. They're just shut.
But yeah, then just obviously working my way down, just being careful, just taking my time.
Yeah.
Just to have a look around.
Yeah, you get to the corner. You have a little sneaky peeky around the corner. Give me another perception check.
Okay, that's better. That's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. So what I will say what you see around the corner at the minute. One thing that there are a couple of things that you pick up on as you're investigating. It is. So there's two guards, door. There's a bit of busted wall here. It is too fucking hot, AD. What you notice, whilst there is some small sconces allowing some small amount of illumination down here, you notice that there is this one lone, larger, unlit sconce on the wall. And then around this corner, you see that there are some more guards. Another door, just a single door this time. Some supporting pillars. You see another pair of guards next to another door. Or I suppose from this angle what you would assume is a door there. And then at the end of this bit, double doors closed.
So that's 2 double doors, 2 single doors that I've seen so far.
Yeah, so you've got double doors here, 2 guards. You've got single door, single guard, but there's 3 of them. Another single door with double guards, and then a double door here.
Just again, because obviously I'm supposed to, Jin said, around 5-10 minutes to meet back.
Mm-hmm.
Being cautious at time, I'll spend another minute just peeking round that corner, seeing if anybody goes into that single door, or if anybody goes down. If anyone goes into the doors down the corridor as well, if that I can see.
Yeah, give me another insight as you're listening in. You've got a good enough perception, but see what you can pick up on in the flickers of conversation.
Again, that's another 15 insight.
15. So you hear them again. You hear references to the holding room, and without any of them saying, "This is the holding room," from the way they're talking and referencing, you would assume that this door leads to whatever the holding room is.
Because obviously, when we did the scouting the other day, obviously Zafira estimated the item we're looking for is like 200 foot down. So effectively, we need to try and find.
Yeah, so you've what I probably should have alluded to, that these stairs go down for quite a while. Probably not 200 feet, but without having a tape measure, being topside and looking down through a locate object, it's difficult to determine. But from what you've seen so far, there's no other ways down just yet from what you've seen.
And that's a total of 7 guards that I've seen as well.
So you've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah. And are they all armed roughly the same?
But they've all got sword shield. They're like studded leather armor. They're all kind of fit for purpose. There's you can you get the vibe that they weren't necessarily expecting trouble, so they're not like full plate fucking,
And any of these reference make mention that, they'd love it to kick off or anything like that?
None of these guys do. It's only been this guy who, just for the sake of indicating reference, Red Base is the only guy that's mentioned. These guys have been talking about how long, and this guy mentioned he kind of wants it to kick off, and these guys are all just talking, standard conversation, locking in for what could be a long night of just escorting drunk people back upstairs. But then you hear references that could allude to this being the holding room, whatever that means.
And none of them go into any of the rooms, no?
No, no one has opened any doors.
Right. Again, cautious of the time. Spend about another minute just to see if I can overhear anything, and then if there's nothing else, I'll then make my way back upstairs to rendezvous with Jin.
Okay, give me one more perception check to see just while you linger for that last minute or two.
Nah, that wasn't that one, mate. For a total of 5.
Yeah. Okay. So then you make your way back to the stairs. Ginocles.
Yes, sir.
You make your way down a long winding set of stairs. It comes to a stop. There's some supporting there's a supporting pillar that you can see, and then you'd know that it opens out to your right.
I'm gonna peek around the corner to see if there's any cards down the way.
Yeah, give me I assume you're being stealthy. Give me a stealth check and a perception check.
All right. Stealth and perception, right?
Yeah.
Was 17 on the die. 14 on the die. So my stealth will be character sheet. Where are you? With a 17 on the die, that's a 30 on stealth. And a 14 on the die for perception is 25.
Okay, nice. Yeah, so you
Yes,
look
for the
down the
N25.
corridor, being as quiet as you motherfucking can. You see the supporting pillars along here. And it comes to a stop at the end wall. You see there's like an entrance way here and 2 guards stood there. For some reason, they are no longer there. But there are a few stacks of... Oh. Whatever. Fuck it. There's barrels.
Barrels. Lots of barrels.
Lots of barrels at this end of the corridor.
Okay. Using my stealth, I'm gonna go to the far wall.
You gotta go head down here.
No, to the wall where the guards are next to.
Oh yeah?
So yeah, and I'm just gonna very softly get a little closer.
Yeah.
Probably just gonna like get even closer.
Okay.
And then at the last minute, I'm just sort of like gonna stumble out, like acting like a little drunk,
Yeah.
and seeing how they react to me suddenly appearing out of nowhere.
Okay. Give me a performance check.
Oh, I guess I'm so good at performance. That's a +0. That's gonna be fun. Yeah, 10. Hey, let's go.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey,
yeah,
we found something he's not good at.
you stumble out. Straight away, you see this guy because he's closer. He instinctually goes to grab his sword, but then, like, immediately relaxes, and then they kind of step forward. Whoa, whoa! Hold it there, sir. They kind of try to give you a look. Had a few drinks at the party.
Here?
You see one of them like looks towards the barrels. Well, there is quite a lot of booze down here, sir. But if you need anything, we can have more kegs sent up. Have they drank it all already up there?
Oh, you can't. No, they've been drinking so much. How long is this party supposed to last for still?
Well, we kind of look at each other. We've just changed the guards for the first half of the party. I say half. And they kind of look at each other again. Oh, I think we're probably expected him to be here all night.
You may want to tell someone to buy more booze.
We can always get another keg sent up. That's no problem, sir. We'll do that, absolutely.
I look at the booze and sort of like count the barrels.
Yeah.
You gotta need more booze.
And one of them chuckles. Do you speak Draconic?
No.
You do not.
I've probably picked up at this point. Probably picked up on like some basic words.
Yeah, basic little bits.
But apart from that, like...
give me an insight check with disadvantage.
That's great. 12.
12. They say something short to each other in Draconic with faked smiles. But yeah, no idea what they've said. Well, yeah, that's no problem, sir. If you want to make your way back upstairs, you need a hand getting back up. We'll have some more drinks sent. That's no problem.
I can find my way. So, what are you doing here tonight?
We are just simply being present, I suppose. Not sure why Jemias has left most of the areas open access, but who are we to stop people that want to wander and have a look? As long as no one's causing trouble. You're not causing trouble, are you, sir?
Not intentionally.
Well, yeah, as long as everyone's having a good time, we're here to just make sure everywhere's safe. You know.
The door behind him. What is it
Yeah.
made out of?
Stone and wood. It's kind of like wooden handles with big stone doors.
Is there more than... Yeah, there's obviously more than 1 feet towards the door from like the entrance.
Well, what? Sorry, mate.
So my vision can penetrate 1 foot of stone, right? But there's obviously more than 1 foot between where they're standing and to the door. So
Yes, I mean, so there's a gap. Like what you can see is what you see. There's a gap and then the door.
yeah. No, Gina's probably going to put 1 and 1 together that the walls here are quite thick. Based on like how far in a door opening is. This is going to be like, all right, I'll go find my way back up.
Yeah,
I'll
no
slink
problem,
back into
sir.
the shadow.
Yeah. And you make your way back to the stair set. Make your way back upstairs. Wait for a minute or two.
I'm probably gonna very quickly like have some footsteps going up a set of stairs for just a second.
Yeah. You
Then,
make some obvious footsteps.
And then slink my way down for a moment.
Yeah.
And I'll try and observe the wall that I'm looking at.
Yeah.
And if I can figure out any sort of rhyme or reason to its structural like build.
I'm
trying to determine if, based on like how sturdy it looks, if it's going to be too thick for me to look through.
I'll say, like, given the stone pillars, like you can pretty much like you can observe, like, you know, the side. Can you see my mouse? You can you can see these bricks, you know, and like they seem to be made out of the same kind of stones, whilst the pillars have been shaped, and the stone bricks of the walls are a bit more rough. You know, very reasonable assumption that if they are made out of the same bricks, they're gonna be at least a stone. Like the wall itself is at least a foot thick, probably more.
Sort of twist my face a little bit in disappointment, and then softly head up the stairs.
Yeah. Won't make you re-roll stealth. So you make your way back up the stairs. You wait a minute or two. The scaff's probably been down there a little longer. Time converges. I am conscious that it's 20 past 8. If we want to go for a 10-15 minute break.
That'll be great.
Yeah? Sweet. Right. Cool. We will crack back on with more investigations after the break.
Okay.
Oh. Hi, everybody.
Dr. Nick.
Hi, Dr. Nick. So, as Jin, pretending to be drunk for the guards, slinks his way back up the stairs, Scath, doing some investigations, also makes his way back up. Agreeable to their give it 5-10 minutes and we'll meet back upstairs for a chat. You reconvene. You see, at this point, a lot of the people either went upstairs, went outside, or are sitting down rather than wandering about at this point, at least in this lower area. You can hear quite a lot of footsteps upstairs, so there's probably a lot more foot traffic or dancing or something going on upstairs.
How big is the room that we're in?
I'd say if you met upstairs to head like towards the back where them sets of stairs were, it's probably 20 feet wide corridor.
So is it safe to say that the stairs in the back and then the hallways that come from that extend not under the floor but beyond it?
Probably, yeah. The space downstairs would probably seem a bit bigger.
Okay.
Yeah. So when we meet back up, obviously, let Jin obviously know what my finding was. 7 guards total. 2 double doors, 2 single doors. One's referred to as, the holding. One guard wants, is hoping for something to kick off. Apart from that, I didn't find
Stairs are
anything.
bust.
You think?
Immediately double door, 2 guards, storage room for alcohol beyond it, or like in the same corridor. So either something's on your side, where there's more rooms, more guards, or it's on my side, the immediate presence of guards on the entranceway. Then there's only 2, so.
That you didn't see past them doors, though, did you?
No.
Yeah.
Structurally, the doors would be the only thing I could see beyond. The walls are too thick.
Mm. What do you
I
want
don't
to bet
want to
on?
waste the charges. You mentioned 2 double door, or 1 double door and 1 single door on your side, correct?
2 double, 2 single. One of them is
structural damage to the walls here and there.
One lone, like, lantern.
It's like when you think about the lantern, like comparatively, there's a couple of small sconces to illuminate the corridor. That one was larger than the rest and unlit.
Could be a way to get into that room, I don't know, but stood out a little bit.
There's more going on the southern side than there is on the northern. What's the northern side where more guards went down in the guard shift?
No, the southern.
Was that the southern side? More guards went down the southern side, so there's a larger presence even when inactive. I would personally put even passively the majority of my garrison or force near something that I would be wanting to protect.
Yeah. Or, like, because we don't know what is past that door that you saw. It could be, like, that's where they keep the barrels to, like, oh, it's just a storage area and there could be something past that. What could be ours? None of
Would you remember
went
what
down,
kind of spell Zeph used for locate object and how visible that would be?
She gave you the ring, didn't she? That she put a locate
Yeah, she gave you the
objects in. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, she did give you a ring with one cast of locate object in.
All right, very easy way to determine this, Scaff. I use the charge right now and see if it points north or south. If it points in the middle, we're still screwed for a choice. Just putting it out there.
At this point, then, so we're going to have to be together to go invisible to get the most sneakiness. Can you cast that whilst being invisible under my illusion, effectively? Because if we can do it down...
For absolute clarity, because you'd know this, pass without a trace just allows you to be more stealthy. It doesn't make you invisible. So
yeah,
no, it's a +10.
Yeah, it's not like
I have a potion of greater invisibility still, bitch.
Yeah. Which you would know that you can cast spells whilst under the effect of.
So, pass without trace, a veil of shadows and silence radiates from me.
Yeah. So it just makes corners darker, makes rafters in the roofs darker. So and that enables you to be more stealthy, but it doesn't. If you're stood in the middle of a room, someone could still see you if you're not actually invisible,
Yeah. But is it worth going down the south stairs and then casting it then, where it's more heavily guarded? Because if it pings whilst we're down that side closer to us, or I don't know.
It lasts for 10 minutes, so.
Well, we should be able to get down, go down north stairs if needed.
How long can I travel there without my popping invisibility scarf? Because I'd like to pop it as late as possible. And also, we need to find a way to get the guards out, I guess, maybe?
So, one guard wanted some trouble to kick off. I don't like looking around the room with how drunk people are. I don't think it'll be too hard to start a fight. I hope.
We could bribe the big guy.
We could.
I heard they insulted him.
I mean, yeah.
Would I have seen Azura leave?
Give me a... I don't know if you would have. But in the interest of leaving it up to the dice, give me a perception.
22.
So you paid attention to Zeph, gave her the message, went upstairs. You probably would have seen him in his corner having a moment of contemplation. And if you were to look around, you can't see him anywhere. So he's either gone upstairs or he's left.
How big of a fight do we need, Scout?
How many guards are upstairs?
Dozen, maybe.
Yeah. For the guards downstairs to get involved, I reckon it needs to be quite a... Like, not just a... You've nudged somebody, you've spilt the drink, it's a little scuffle. It needs to be like a good old... Like, house versus house, like, fist fight. Oh! Right, so...
Do you mind if I get banished from the city, Scout?
Hang on, Pidge. In the room we are in now,
Yeah.
is the Dragonborn of all different colours? Like, from all the different houses?
Yeah, you don't see any green ones. There's... it's mostly red and blue. There is a couple of coppers. There's a couple of black Dragonborn that you don't see like. Obviously, you've noticed of all the houses, and like reflecting back when you had that fight in the mesas, there was copper Dragonborn and a couple of black Dragonborn wizards. So the black Dragonborn, you're not quite sure where they fit in, but
I've got a dastardly plan right now.
the most
Command of cocktails.
devious bastard.
Right, so I'm going to put this to Jin. If we want to cause like some proper like arguments, fights for guys to get involved, I can go invisible, and people have had a few drinks. I could literally like whisper you know, over here, like, oh, you seen that blue Dragonborn there? Their ass is that fat; it's bigger than the mama. You know.
Invisible
Stuff like that.
Chinese whispers to try to...
You know, it's like that way. You know, it's like I'm not there. I can just like duck, dip, dive, and dodge out of the way, and you know, just try and cause a fight that way, and give a couple of little people some shoves because it's technically not combat and it doesn't break the ring's invisibility.
If needed, I'll sort of pat where my bag of holding is. There is a liquor store downstairs.
Okay. Oh no.
I'll blame you because you're obviously more suspect than I am. But it can be done.
Honestly, if you even said to Zafira I was the one that did it, like as yourself, you know, she'd still blame me. as well as you know, both of them would be like, what, Jin, you actually did it? No, I definitely scaff. But
it's a little extreme, but it'll get the job done.
It is extreme, but we've got to do something. And that will...
How about we try a little Chinese whisper thing first? Or
I'm on it. Shit away!
Huh? One tune whisper.
Right, so Scaff's got to try and incite violence at the party. Amazing.
I'm just sipping a drink in the corner somewhere, just like
Azura.
in the neighborhood of the stairs which I went down. Just
paying attention. Okay. Azura, anything you're doing? You've gone outside to get some fresh air. You've left the area.
Having a walk. And having all those different thoughts in my mind, I'm gonna head to somewhere where that is, well, basically, I'm not going to get talked about. I'm heading back to Octavian's tower, because he wouldn't have enjoyed that party at the end there. So he wants to go somewhere that he can have a bit of peace and quiet, possibly, and chat to people that know him.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, easy enough. You leave the party heading southbound around the tower, looming tall in the darkness as the sun has very well much set by now. You can see the silhouetted skeleton of Zalmanafax in its courtyard.
But so I definitely be walking past that, and
yeah, it's Zalmanafax skeletons on the side of the tower that the main doors are. So whenever you go to Zalmanafax Tower, you can see the skeleton.
yeah, as I walk past, I'll just pause a second and give it a look, and yeah, okay, I'm gonna head in.
Yeah, as you head to the tower, as you walk up the stairs, the guards just give you a nod and they open the doorway. Welcome to the tower, Prince Azura.
Thank you. Please don't call me that. I've had enough of that tonight.
And one of them goes, "Yes, my prince." Oh, apologies.
His lordship still awake?
As far as we're aware, he's not left the tower.
Good. I have to.
Do you need an escort, or
do
you know where you're going?
I imagine he's up in his room.
One of them smokes. Yes, most likely.
I was hoping to enjoy a party tonight to unwind, but
yes, we've heard a few of ours have gone, but not really many of us fancied it without Octavian himself going.
yeah, it's one of the things that wound me up so much tonight was that I was getting questioned constantly about his whereabouts and what my dealings with him is and how I'm linked to him, and it's just I couldn't be dealing with it anymore. So I've come here for a bit of a peace and quiet.
Okay. You head upstairs. As you approach the double doors that you're used to seeing the man himself, the guards open the doors and you see sat in his robe, not much else on, but keeping his dignity, keeping his modesty. He's glass in hand. As you walk up the stairs and you walk through the doors, he stands up. Bonjour. I was not expecting to see you this evening.
I was not expecting to be here, but the party wasn't as enjoyable as I thought it would be.
Well, that is a shame. I thought that you might enjoy being with your friends at...
It was quite enjoyable for the first couple of hours, but once the Guildmaster had been more introduced to people, a lot of their attention started turning towards me, and it was getting a bit, how can I put it, annoying, and questions that were just, let's just to say I was getting rather... My head was getting rather battered by them, and I got fed up quite quickly.
That is why I rarely leave the tower. I do not have time for people I am not really interested in.
Well, that was a lot of the questions. They knew that you were invited to this party, and they were questioning me about where you were, why you hadn't turned up. A lot of what my dealings were with you, and
People have to know everything that happens in the city.
Yes, yeah, it seems so, and let's just say I've come here for a bit more quiet contemplation and trying to just clear some thoughts from my head.
Is there anything that I can help with, or would you like some time for yourself?
Actually, I quite like the company, to be honest, and just to talk over things more. Again, coming here, I saw the skeleton again, and with everything that's happened, it's making things a lot more difficult.
I heard that whilst I did not want to pry into your business, I could not help but overhear that you have a issues that your friends were not happy with. Kind of gestures loosely to your arm. Perhaps something about where you went?
Yeah. I wasn't sure who to tell about this. I knew my friends had to know. But what this is now is weighing me down. Because it's, how, for lack of a better way of putting it, it's put a timer on things for me. I don't know how much you know. But it's like I'm basically on borrowed time now.
As he kind of stands up and walks over towards the balcony. Well, whilst I have lived a long time, I can understand how borrowed that time can be.
I thought I would have more time to do a lot more with my life. So many things that I want to do, want to find out, and now I don't even know if I'll have time to do any of them.
Is there anything that I can help with?
I honestly, I don't know what the extent of your reach is, but my friends and I want us to be leaving the city in the next couple of days to try and help find something to help with this. But with the way this is, I don't even know if I'll ever have the time to come back here at all. And
Well, that is a shame. I had big hopes and aspirations for what you could achieve.
so did I. But fate, it seems, rarely deals a favorable hand.
Well,
Time.
forgive me perhaps for maybe being a bit selfish, but do you think that you could make a decision if one way or another. He kind of gestures out over the balcony.
I'll walk up next to him on the balcony and look over. You're right. And with things the way they are now, I may never get another chance. And he'll just close his eyes and be like, my friends, forgive me. Octavian, let's do this.
You see, he stands up tall and
I need to know.
has a long glug of his drink. Well, I did not expect to hear that. Come with me.
Life has a funny way of putting things into perspective once you know it's going to be cut incredibly short.
He nods. Leads you out of the room. We'll flick back to the party. The boys. If you, Scaff, give me... So you're sticking with the Wuntian Whispers idea.
I'm gonna whisper proper like your mama jokes. Like, your mama's so ugly. When she tried to join an ugly contest, they said, sorry, no professionals.
For fuck's sake. Oh my god. So you're trying to rabble rouse between the houses.
Pretty much. It's like, and then I'll throw another one out there. It's like, your mama's so fat that when she fell, no one was laughing, but the ground was cracking up.
Oh god. Fuck.
But
Oh, awful. Okay, give me a stealth check, persuasion check, and a percentile.
Obviously, I'll be doing it whilst I'm stealth invisible as well.
Yeah, the stealth with advantage.
All right, that's pretty good.
What's Jin doing whilst he... You notice a couple of people, like, shifting their attention as if they've heard something as he wanders about trying to call people's mothers various things.
I'm wondering how I can aid in this chaos. But I'm not invisible.
I'm not
don't
sure
want to
you
get
can.
caught into a brawl. So I'm just making myself. I'm basically trying to get into a corner of the room where there might be a little bit of a shadow dropping. And I'm basically, because my suit's mostly black, I'm buttoning up. I'm hiding the scarf under the jacket. And just sort of
Obscure from
into the
attention.
background.
Okay.
Yeah. Making sure I'm not noticed if a bunch of guards suddenly run up a set of stairs in order to put out a fight.
Okay.
And then enjoying the scene, probably eating some fake popcorn.
I'm proper going for it. If I have to, like, you know, when you're drunk, your knees can be pretty weak. You know, so when you just literally tap someone in the back of their kneecap, and just like
stood on the main leg and you knee the back of the knee. Yeah.
It's like I'm gonna do stuff like that as well, just to completely, like, properly kick it off. So with what you asked me to roll, My stealth was 22.
Okay.
My percentile was 91. And what was the other one?
Persuasion.
Persuasion. That was a 16.
Okay.
So it's...
Fucking hell. So you see, Jin, you obscure into shadow and watch as various people start to lose balance a little. Do you speak Draconic, Scath? Oh, I asked you that. Yeah, of course, it's Jin that doesn't. So you hear people start
I've only
to...
known, like, fuck you and
Yeah.
hello, goodbye.
So, no insight required. You can tell that the mood shifts in the room. And yeah, with those rolls, people do start kicking off. So, because that kind of makes things a bit time sensitive, what I will say is, because there's a number of guards downstairs that you're obviously trying to get up, there's obviously, as probably assumed and expected, a lot more guards upstairs in the party itself. So, what I will say is, we'll switch over to Zafira, who you notice a stirring in the guardship and an audible shift in partying to arguments breaking out downstairs. Now, I won't make you roll something to try to put 2 and 2 together, because, you know what the main reason things are here, and if a fight's kicked off, you're smart enough to probably assume it's a distraction. But you notice, first and foremost, that the guards start to gather and discuss heading downstairs. So I will give you an opportunity to try to distract the guards upstairs, should you wish.
I'll see if I can keep them a little bit by asking what's going on. Like, I have no idea.
Okay. Give me
But I just hear, like, what is that commotion downstairs? Everything all right?
Yeah. Give me a persuasion check.
Okay. I check. Okay. What are you? It's dark in my room, forgive me. 17.
17. Give me a percentile.
Where's the other D10? Oh. 55?
55. Okay. You approach them. What's going on? You hear them say, it sounds like there's a commotion downstairs.
Oh, really?
You see one of them moves away to go to speak to Jemias.
Oh, well, maybe, maybe I could help. I was a guard back in Saugard, Crazy those days back then. You wouldn't believe how busy Saugard got. And I'll basically try and run a conversation of me telling them all the crazy stories from Saugard.
Okay.
Especially that time that people set the houses on fire, and then there were like 4 of them outside the bakery, and I had to face off alone because everyone else was busy running to the tavern to save the booze. So...
Okay. So I'll say that will buy some time. What Jin and Scath, you notice some guards do come from downstairs, but because of the commotion that kicks off, you do see that some of the guards come from downstairs as well. Not all of them. But I suppose every little helps. Jin, you notice that one of the guys from downstairs that you spoke to has gone upstairs. So, seeing one guard come up, Jin, from what you saw, you can assume that there's one guy still downstairs. Scath, you notice the one guy who wanted a kickoff comes fucking bounding up the stairs.
He's ready for war.
And you notice that two others come up. So 3 in total.
At least 5.
So you know that you saw 7, 3 have come up. So you would assume that there's still 4 downstairs.
Oh, this is such a bad idea.
So you've got
Jin's strategizing at the moment.
Yeah.
He's seeing people come up from downstairs, which is good.
Yeah.
But a fight has an expiration date.
Yeah.
A pretty quick one. Turn down the what?
So Scath, obviously you're invisible. You can see that Jin has gone for his corner. You've started a fight. Some guards have come up. You've done a quick head count.
Yep.
You know, there's still some downstairs, but at least it's not the full contingent.
How close am I to the south steps?
I mean, you'd have to make your way back to them, but it's like there's a bit of distance between them. Obviously, the north and south steps comparative.
Yeah. Because I'm gonna like, whilst it's like the fight's like literally kicking off and get like more guards are running up, it's still going on. I was gonna say try and go to like these steps and like try and like throw my voice like a guard trying to shout for more guards to come up.
You can try if you're gonna throw your voice. You know that you're closer to the fight than the distance you travelled down. So you would imagine if you were to shout loud enough to try to get more guards to come up, the guards that are up there will absolutely hear it. But you are invisible, and there's distractive conflict, so that's not me
Whilst
saying it
being
won't
invisible-
work. I'm just giving you the facts and figures.
Right. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go down the south steps, like run down, like, you know, the guards can hear like proper, like rushed steps coming down. But when I'm going down first, I'll be quiet because I don't want to hear anybody hear me going downstairs. But when I get like a little bit low, I'll then run down the steps and then I'll shout, need more help. And then, you know, like in that panicked voice, and then run back upstairs. And then when I get near to the top again, slow down, just so nobody can hear me come up the stairs.
Okay. So,
And then
what I'll say is,
I'm going
because
to go
we're not
towards
on
where
the
Jin
clock,
was.
yeah, you can absolutely do that, but that will eat into X amount of time that the fight's going on. So that's fine if you want to do that.
Jin has an idea. How many winds is the winding stair down?
Difficult to say because I've not got it.
So what I'm basically saying is, if I'm up the top,
Yeah.
would I need to go halfway down in order to see the bottom realistically?
Let's say it's 100 feet down and each wind is 10 feet, so there's 10 winds. Let's just put flat numbers on it to make things easier. And I suppose that alludes in your mind that when Zafira thought it was a ways down, whilst it's hard to tell, like
It is a ways down.
there's so far down.
I'm gonna try, after I see the guard sort of come up from the stairs that I went down originally, I'm gonna try and slip down behind, as he's like coming up and he's sort of like going to get involved in like trying to tear apart the fight and etc. I'm going to slink from my shadow and go down the stairs which he just came up from and is now concentrated on the fight in front of him.
Okay.
So I'm going back down my stairs.
Give me a stealth check. I guess you're being stealthy or you're just running down.
No, initially I'm stealthy, trying to get to the stairs without him noticing me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm slinking from the shadows to the stairs down.
Yep.
I'm trying to be silent on my way down.
Yeah, give me a stealth check then.
But there is a sense of haste, right?
Okay.
It's a 23 stealth.
Okay.
When I am probably 9 down, so I can see the last round
you get
down.
Like, and it is open. What you can see is what you can see. It like comes down and it's open here, coming down, and then like the tops of these walls here is then roof.
Yeah.
So coming down, it's
okay.
It's open to this point. And you can see that.
I just basically want to. I want to be able to throw something down.
Okay. Yeah. What you gonna
so
throw down?
during my way down, I'm gonna rummage in the bag of holding. I'm gonna pull out 2 items. I'm gonna pull out the greater invisibility.
Yeah.
Basically ready it, and I'm gonna pull out a Molotov cocktail.
Okay.
And ready it.
Okay.
The moment that I am down enough to basically throw it down, because I don't want the booze to catch fire, because that would be bad.
Yes,
but
you know, like the wine
threat.
casks are down that end.
Yeah. Yeah. So I run down and I throw the Molotov cocktail around the corner. So it goes down the corridor. But not far enough that it hits the booze. But there's the threat of like fire reaching alcohol. That's what I'm after.
Okay.
Then I pop my bottle of invisibility and I go back up, yelling fire, fire, fire as I'm going up.
Okay. Give me an attack roll.
Awesome.
You're not. Have you got like proficiency in darts?
Simple weapons, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Darts for sure, yeah.
So you've thrown a lot of things, you know, like
probably not even the first time I've thrown a Molotov cocktail, but
yeah. So give me an attack roll.
Should I just like use the darts for that as
fuck
an
it.
indicator, or
Yeah, go on.
Actually, the same as my unarmed strike as well. So, 21.
21. Right. So you're throwing it towards the booze, like round the corner towards the booze. So you've got basically this trajectory, and the guy in the doorway. Were you trying to throw it like before him or after?
Beyond him. Just beyond him.
Let me get the screen on so everyone can see what we're talking about. So you want to throw the Molotov cocktail beyond him?
Yeah, roughly there. Yeah. So that's threatening the booths,
Right.
but not quite reaching it. You know, let's yeah.
So you throw
Don't
it.
set the guy on fire, please! Not the guy. Oh
No,
god.
he's just out. He's fine.
Oops. Oh,
Yeah, he's
bugger.
fine.
I've forgotten how you get it to click, right click, and it's locked. There you go. So, fire. Burp, burp, burp. So this guy obviously shits himself. Oh fuck it. You know what I mean. And he kind of moves
for sure.
back. So he doesn't get lit up. Okay, and then you pop your invisibility.
Is
Pop my invisibility, and I start running back
20-foot
up.
radius?
I don't know, is it?
I think it's a 20-foot radius.
Oh no.
Well,
Wait, let's check. It'd be hilarious if it was, but
if it is.
Area of effect. Creatures within 20 foot of the impact point may be affected.
Right, well.
maybe effective. Fair,
20 foot
fair.
of the impacted point.
Oh boy!
Well.
I just wanted to throw that out there. Just saying.
There we go.
Oh no.
What's the damage on it? Because that guy has been lit the fuck up.
Molotov.
1d10 fire damage. Because he's not being directly hit, so he doesn't get the bludgeoning, I don't think.
Yeah. Okay, now. Okay. Give me 1d10 fire damage.
Where's my D10? Here it is. 5.
5. Okay.
And I still around like in the center.
So you throw the Molotov cocktail, you hear an explosion, you hear a scream for all intents and purposes, and you pop your invisibility and run up the stairs shouting fire, fire, fire.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Scaff, you have done your inciting. You're invisible. There's a fight kicking off. You then, arguably recognise Jin's voice coming from where the northern stairs were, shouting fire, fire, fire.
Yeah.
And I go. Do I run immediately down the other stairs? Question. Probably. Yeah, up and back down the other side.
Okay. So Jin's going to the south side.
Okay. Okay, let's go.
Okay, let's go. Now, we'll give Jin the blue base of invisibility. Oh, Scaff doesn't know Jin's gone down the south side.
Not really, no.
But what I will say, metagaming aside, but with reasonable assumption, obviously the whole point is to distract the guards to give you time to go downstairs. So it wouldn't be too beyond reason to be like, right, fuck it. I don't know where Jin is, but I've heard him shout fire from the north stairs, and we need to go downstairs. Yeah. That was the whole point. So, yeah, fair enough.
I was about to say, yeah, like, hearing that from that side, I'll then myself like go, right, go back down the left side.
Okay.
I'd probably like bump into him and like, what's this visible? Oh, it's a person. Jin!
Yes, so what you notice when you get downstairs is this guy is... well, you don't know what's happening on the other side, but... So, you get downstairs, you don't need to do perception checks. You look and... this door's clear. There's a guy at the end. Jin, you can now see what... I mean, you're super perceptive anyway. You can see that it's dimly lit with sconces. There's this one larger unlit sconce. And then it's just one guy down that end. Double doors.
Right, so when I'm down this end, hearing that, seeing that there's guards pretty far away, I'm just going to, like, because obviously I'm still invisible, under my breath, just go, Jin! Because it doesn't break
Present.
the invisibility. Where's the bag of holding? I start feeling like for Jin's shoulder. I need the bow just in case.
Pull out a bow, throw it on the ground so it becomes visible.
Pick it up, string it, which then, because I'm holding it, becomes invisible when holding an item. And get my quiver, because, well, I need my quiver.
I'm going to dash towards the double door.
Okay. So, yeah, okay.
As quickly as I can to the double door,
What I'll say is...
and seeing if I can open it up.
Because we've got a bunch of things going on, we'll have like a loose initiative. We'll have Jin,
right.
Scaff, and then other. So Jin,
Works.
you got...
I'm going to go to the door and Jin sprint to Scaff, yeah. I'm going to try and open the door.
Yeah, it is unlocked. Just got to move it over here. Oops. If you open the door, you can see what looks like a bunch of coffins.
How much movement was that from the stairs?
It was like 30, 35.
35.
Scaff, you see the doors open.
Yeah, so I'll move up as well to like being in front of the doors or near enough my 30 foot of movement.
Let's just let's let Jin finish his turn before, just in case things get confusing.
I'm going to use what movement I have left to go into the room.
Have you got 10 feet left?
So that's like 5 or so feet left.
Oh, you got 40. Yeah.
Unless I still have an action left.
Yeah, so it's like opening a door. it wasn't locked. You've not had to expend much. That could be your free action. If it was locked, obviously you would have had to have actioned it, but...
Okay. Then I'm going to dash an additional 40 feet.
Okay, so you go 30 and you get to the end.
Around I can see down.
Yeah. Continues on, another corridor, coffins.
I'm taking mental note of that, turning around, going back out. As far as that still allows me. So about like probably there, give or take. Yeah.
Scaff's turn.
Sort of like loudly whispering. Coffin room, nothing.
Obviously, I'll move my full 30 foot forward.
Yeah.
Obviously, that way I can see in the room as well.
Yeah.
Just have a quick look. But it's more keeping an eye on the guard at the far end.
Yeah.
Seeing if he then turns round. And then I'll just effectively hold my action if needed.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna use. So I'll move my 30 foot, and then I'll use my action to then dash effectively another 30 foot forward.
Further down the corridor.
While still being, but I'll try and keep to the right hand side wall. Yeah.
Okay.
And then obviously that'll be my turn, just keeping an eye on the. Because obviously there's that bit in the wall to right which was a bit damaged. I just want to see if that's out as well, but obviously just still keeping an eye on the guard.
Yeah.
Stealthily.
Guard's turn. You hear shouting in Draconic. Passive perception, you can't quite make out what's being said. It's more just panicked. He then disappears round the corner.
That's on fire!
Did they get a basket
they
off
open
like
the
Jenga?
The poor guy.
Put it out! Put it
Oh, no.
No, baby. Guys, what did you do?